Hi Kenyans, my name is Nkatha Mugao and I'm a children protection agent. I want to address one specific thing in less than 5 minutes. Actually, I am pissed off tonight as I record this because I see a government that is less concerned about our children. Number one, when we talk about the education of our children, how many parents have access to internet today? Some of you will tell me a majority. And I'll tell you wrong answer. Because right now as it is, the number of people who would have afforded the internet or even a phone with the internet, wameuza simu, wameuza ma TV, wameuza kila kitu that they have. They're trying to keep afloat. We all are struggling right now. So when Magoha comes here and tells us that children have access to online studies, does he have a touch with the ground? I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Unaweza kosa kunielewa. But I am not against children studying online. Your child and my child can afford it. I don't refute that. But I am wondering, what about the child whose mother, whose father cannot afford internet, whose father and whose mother, best thing they call a phone is a mulikamwizi, who live in a place where there's no electricity? You and I might probably afford a laptop. We might afford to go to a cyber. And I will ask you, consider a mother whose child lives in the remotest of Nakuru County, of Tharaka County, of Baringo County, of the 47 counties in Kenya. Consider that mother, consider that father, consider that child. Do you still think the same? Yes, your child and my child might afford it to go online. Okay? We are on Twitter, we are on WhatsApp, we are on whatever. We can afford it. But I'm wondering, are we doing something about these kids? Because for so long, these children have been neglected. I speak with a lot of anger and bitterness because I actually did my KCSE in a school that didn't even have like a quarter of whatever stuff that we were supposed to do when it came to science practicals. When it came to those practicals that you guys were doing, it is called what? Titration and stuff. Tulikuwa tunazionea kwa makaratasi. You know? And here you are having the same discussion about a child whose education is on the line. But what do? We don't care. We don't give a hoot because it's not your child. It's not my child, right? People, we have to wake up. There is enough resources in this country if we only had the right leadership in place. If we had the right leadership in place, we have enough resources for the next generation. I am tired of this country having to beg and beg money. Right now, we're receiving aid from sijui China. Sijui where. And what happens? It all infiltrates into someone's pocket. Why? Because these people, when they came to ask us for votes, what did they do? They bought us for 50 shillings, for 100 shillings. Others, we were busy shouting ourselves horses. We even forgot that we were brothers and sisters. I am one pissed off Kenyan. Because the life of a child is at stake because of a few individuals in this government. Magoha, when you stand up and tell people that yes, we will not postpone these education exams in November. Why? Because our students are learning online. How many children can access internet today? How many children can access a TV? How many children can access electricity? How many children can access a phone? So when you sit about there and you're rolling down nicely in your office seat, you don't even feel guilty. You don't feel bad that you're lying to these children. Some who look at you and say, I would want to be like Magoha when I grow up. And all you sit down and do is lie to them on their faces, lie to their parents on their TVs. I'm just annoyed, for lack of a better word. But I'll tell you, Kenyans, we need to wake up. Tutapiga kelele Twitter na nini, but we need to go kwa ground. Vitu kwa ground Magoha ni different. Vitu kwa ground ni different. Tafadhali, we need you to consider those children. You don't have to push that education. You don't have to push that exam. You don't. What I'm basically saying is, if we have children studying online, tafadhali, pelekea wenye wawezi pate hiyo education online, wapelekee laptops, wapelekee simu, wapelekee stima. Okay? If you can, whatever you can provide for them, even if it's generator per award, give them. Tafadhali, let those children study. Find a solution. We are looking for solutions. We are not looking for stories. We are fed up with stories. Tumechoka. Hatutaki stories. We want actions. We want actions. We want actions. Let our kids study. Yes, let them study. It is actually very disturbing because we seem to have forgotten where we've come from. We seem to forget where we've come from. How fast? How fast? You forget about that child who sleeps on the streets. That child who cannot even afford the basic needs. Education is a basic right for a child. That is even in the Kenyan Constitution. So when you swore to uphold the Constitution of this country, what part of the Constitution did you swear not to uphold? That you will segregate on these kids? That is the part that you swore you will not do, you will do? You need to consider these children. You need to consider these kids. We cannot have this discussion. I cannot overemphasize this again and again. Tafadhali, we need these kids on board. You're looking at losing an entire generation. You're looking at losing an entire presidency because of just one decision that you make today. So just because you're seated on that seat, remember, you will not be there tomorrow. That child will be there. And you need to raise a generation that will protect your child tomorrow.